The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning, everyone. It is 5 a.m. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher.
And this morning, Kern County, of course, is still reeling from that winter storm that slammed our area on Friday, causing widespread flooding that began in the mountains east of Bakersfield.
It was a busy weekend for fire crews who were forced to issue new evacuation orders as local waterways overflowed their banks near McFarland and Wasco.
We begin with Poso Creek, which began to overflow on Saturday morning, forcing residents on the east side of McFarland to evacuate. Officials say the water levels in Poso Creek have since lowered and conditions have improved. However, as of now, all evacuation warnings and orders remain in place for the city of McFarland.
The evacuation warning covers anyone in the area of Elmo Highway south to Famoso Road between Driver Road to Highway 99. Anyone living in the yellow boundary is advised to be prepared to leave the area quickly if necessary. The evacuation order, which you can see in red here, covers Elmo Highway south to East Sherwood Avenue between San Lucas Street west to Highway 99. An evacuation center has been set up at the 11th Avenue Community Center, in Delano. The evacuation center at the Horizon School in McFarland is no longer open.
Meantime, a waterflow flooding event caused major problems north of Wasco over the weekend. This is a look at the conditions near Pond Road and Highway 43. Officials have issued an evacuation order near this area as well. It stretches from the northeast corner of Highway 43 and Schuster Road east to Wasco Pond Road and includes the homes at the southwest corner of Beach Street and Pond Road. Again, the evacuation center is at the 11th Avenue Community Center in Delano.
In Kernville, fire crews say the river has continued to recede, allowing emergency personnel to begin surveying the extent of damage. Over 100 first responders have been called to the area over the past few days, and they say they will continue to assist as long as needed. As flooding started early Friday morning, folks in Kernville began sending us dramatic video. One of those residents was Kyle Roberts, a Wofford Heights resident. He sent us this drone footage showing the incredible amount of water moving through the region. At one point, the Kern River was running 10 times its typical flow for this time of year.
The whole Riverside Park is, it's raging underwater, From the elevation of, 7,000 below, all that rain melted it, so it's just raging down this river. Definitely historical. There's bridges floating down right now. A lot of people's personal things.
And Edward Chica sent us this incredible drone footage from the Kern River Valley. Take a look at this. All evacuation orders issued on Friday in Kernville still remain in effect this morning. There's an evacuation center at Kern Valley High School that's located on Erskine Creek Road in Lake Isabella.
Meantime, Highway 178 once again getting the brunt of this recent storm. A rock slide forced Caltrans to shut down the highway for several hours yesterday. The good news, it has since reopened. This is the second time a rock slide has shut down the 178 this year alone.
And while several parts of Kern County are still grappling with the impacts of this storm, there is some good news, and it is a sight we have not seen in years. Water flowing in the Kern River through Bakersfield. Take a look at this video taken yesterday near the 99 and 24th Street. So let's put this entire storm into perspective. During a normal river flow, the Kern is running at 600 cubic flow per second. During a great summer river flow, it is around 7,000 cubic flow per second. During the climax of this storm on Friday, the river was running at 45,000 cubic flow per second.
Turning now to your 17 Crime Watch, an investigation's underway after a shooting in East Bakersfield. It happened around 9 last night on Monet Court near Highway 58. Kern County Sheriff's deputies say the victim was shot once in the chest and taken to the hospital. No word yet on a possible suspect or if anyone was arrested. And deputies are investigating a homicide that happened Saturday night around 7:30. KCSO says deputies with the Metropolitan Patrol Division found the victim outside a home and the victim appeared to have been violently assaulted. Investigators say they're not releasing any other information as of now. The victim has not been identified.
A man has been arrested on charges of arson after new playground equipment went up in flames at Wingland Elementary School. Firefighters encountered the blaze around 10 o'clock Thursday night. They say the new playground equipment, worth about $750,000, was still in its packaging. KCSO deputies and arson investigators were able to identify the suspect, Gary Tuck, who was arrested and booked into jail early Saturday morning.
17 News is your local election headquarters. More than 1,000 Republicans from across the state were in Sacramento this weekend for the annual state GOP convention. New House Speaker, Bakersfield's own Kevin McCarthy, addressed attendees as he called out the Biden and Newsom administrations on several issues. Capitol correspondent Eitan Wallace reports.
Yeah, McCarthy certainly did not shy away from going after the president and the governor in a speech that focused on all kinds of matters from fentanyl to the border. Greeted with music and a standing ovation, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy took the stage on the second day of the California GOP convention in Sacramento, just blocks from the state capitol. McCarthy wasting no time going after Governor Gavin Newsom, calling on him to halt high-speed rail.
When can we stop wasting money on this? Look, the only thing I think Gavin spends more time on than high-speed rail is spending time on his hair.
But it was not just Newsom. McCarthy also slamming President Biden over what the speaker argues are failed border policies.
When you don't have operational control of your own border, you don't have a nation. And my promise to you is we will get control back of our border, and you will see our border.
That, McCarthy says, is part of the House Republicans' official plan known as the Commitment to America. Included in that commitment, according to McCarthy, standing up to China, especially over its perceived role in producing and exporting fentanyl across the globe.
This is one of the most deadly things that is happening. And it starts in China, it goes to the cartels, and it's coming across this border.
McCarthy did acknowledge he and the president meet from time to time to engage in bipartisan dialogue, but he made clear the two do not agree on much, including how the government should respond to its massive debt of more than $31 trillion.
I said, Mr. President, there's two things I will never do. I will not raise taxes, and I will not pass a clean debt ceiling. But if you want to cut spending, you want to find savings for the American public, I'm all in.
Convention attendees liked what they heard.
Very happy that he's Speaker of the House, and I'm very pleased with the contract or the commitment to America. He reinforced that. It was very positive.
We need accountability. We need accountability over government systems, and we need to make government really work for people.
But across the aisle in his own district, there's a different feeling about McCarthy.
We feel Kevin McCarthy has lost his way. He's not a true representative. All he really is, a piggy bank for the GOP.
Neil Sinapa is a state Democratic delegate from the area McCarthy represents in Kern County.
He isn't doing enough for the district. And I think when you look at the actual resources that have been brought into Kern County by Kevin McCarthy, there's not very much to speak for.
But McCarthy begs to differ.
Do not believe we cannot win here, and I will fight as we turn this nation around. Thank you, and God bless.
And we did reach out to President Biden, Governor Newsom, and the state Democratic Party, but they did not have a statement at this time. Reporting in Sacramento, Eitan Wallace, 17 News.
Meantime, President Biden is heading our way this week with two stops planned in Southern California. Today, he'll be in San Diego to meet with the Prime Ministers of the United Kingdom and Australia. And then tomorrow, he visits Monterey Park, where a mass shooting at a dance hall in January killed 11 people. There, the president is expected to renew his call for a new federal ban on assault weapons. Later, he'll make a similar pitch during a stop in Las Vegas, where 59 people were killed in the deadliest mass shooting in U.S. history 5 years ago.
You're making news around the nation. All 65 passengers on a United Airlines flight are safe this morning after receiving a bomb scare mid-flight.
The flight attendant just came up and said that passenger found a note that was in the aft lab that said there's a bomb on board.
Police said the threat was made on United Airlines Flight 3613, which took off from Newark, New Jersey Sunday, bound for Burlington, Vermont. Officials said about 20 minutes before landing, the pilot was made aware of a threat that was found inside a bathroom on the plane. The pilot notified air traffic control officers, prompting a massive emergency response at the airport. Passengers were unable to deplane for 2 hours while K-9 units were brought on board to sweep the plane. Officials found no credible threat on the aircraft.
Turning now to the fallout from the second largest bank failure in U.S. history. Regulators announcing a plan to ease fears over the failed Silicon Valley Bank. NBC's Bree Jackson has our report this morning from Washington.
The collapse of Silicon Valley Bank set off panic.
We have went to 2 other banks and have started withdrawing the funds.
The federal government is stepping in to ensure consumers have access to their money today. But Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen insists there would be no bank bailouts like there were in 2008.
The reforms that have been put in place means that we're not going to do that again.
Instead, regulators plan to back all SVB deposits and those at Signature Bank in New York, which shuttered Sunday. They'll cover those costs in part by using the FDIC's Deposit Insurance Fund.
It's not going to cost taxpayers money.
The extraordinary move also aims to calm financial markets before trading resumes this morning. Experts weighed in on what they believe is the root cause of the second largest bank failure in U.S. history.
Banks are free to fail when you have a change in interest rates like we've had over the past several months, the most aggressive rate hike cycle in 2 generations. Some banks' business models are not going to work anymore.
The White House hopes to ease fears that more banks could follow. And this morning, President Biden will deliver remarks about maintaining a resilient banking system. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.